the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn, because one street over there's a life I could have known, would have kept me from the one I had today. From my home, cracked and broken asphalt everywhere. I could have ended up just like that broken road, with a dead end in my path. Thank the Lord that I've got more than that. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I won't forget the lessons that I don't deserve, because one street over there's a life.
To say, hey, what's happening up the street? What's going on in my neighborhood or my neighborhood next door? What's happening with us? And that's what we do here. This is, again, a worldwide Christian broadcast company. I love saying that because that's what we're doing at WSGI. And so we're so pleased to be a part of it. And I'm making new friends here. We're sitting here talking. We were sitting here talking off, while I was turning everything on. I thought, let's just turn the mics on and share all this.
Yes, because I will take this. I heard I only have like less than 30 minutes. That's not enough time for me.
Oh, no, you're funny. Yeah, you have a half hour. We have 30 minutes.
Teasing.
And we've got some representatives from Fall in the Brier coming in, because normally United Way comes in at 7:30. Awesome. And they could not be here today. So we have some, that opened up a slot for us to talk about what's happening in Greenbrier with the fall celebration. So we're going to talk about that. But right now it is Pamela Richmond. How are you doing?
Good morning. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it.
Lord, I love you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And this, we have a mutual friend, Jill Krantz.
Yes.
She messaged me.
Jill.
I love her. And it's so funny. She's one of my Good Pasture peep. Our kids went to school together at Good Pasture, and you have a child that's at Good Pasture.
Well, she graduated, right? Okay. She's a sophomore now at Lipscomb.
Oh my, that's my alma mater.
I want to just quickly also give a shout out to not just Jill but Meredith and Charlene. They've been so awesome.
Well,
and that's why I get to meet you.
Well, you're so sweet. Thank you. I get to meet you, darling. But and that's what message me with people who we need to meet. And Jill's like, you just got to hear this lady's story. And what is all this about? Because I know there's this that you're doing coffee but you have a testimony, and so I don't even know where to start because I'm just meeting you. So what do we need to know about you, Miss Pamela?
You really asked that question?
I did ask that question because this is your time.
Anybody who knows me is going, uh-oh.
Well, go. It's your turn.
I'm not going to go, I was born a coal miner's daughter. That story works. I like that.
It does. I like that.
But that's not my story.
That's
funny.
Anyway, that's funny.
It's a little tough telling about this testimony without starting out with growing up, because it all is.
We'll go there.
Together,
Let's
okay?
go. I'll hush you.
So I'm gonna do my best. All right. It could be discombobulated, but that's okay. We'll get there.
That's where I go. So
growing up, not only was I born in Los Angeles, but I wasn't raised there. Before the age of 4, we lived in Texas and Illinois. My dad worked for the government, so I was born in California, and I have relatives there, but I wasn't raised there. I was predominantly raised in Wisconsin and Missouri.
Okay.
So when I was growing up, I used to sneak coffee and watch my mom, with her friends, and they always had a bunch of fun and, laughing and all that good stuff, all kinds of good stuff with coffee, which is why I wrote the coffee story on BigBeanCoffeeRoasters.com. Let me just throw that out there. It's not that's where you can learn a lot about. You can learn a lot about my passion on Big Bean Roasters.
Okay.
BigBeanCoffeeRoasters.com. Because the coffee story's on there. But when I was growing up, my favorite word was big. I'm like, Mom, this is big. Mom, this is a big deal. This is big. So my whole growing up, all through teenage years, I would come home from school and say something was big, even if it wasn't.
I
You know,
gotcha.
it's
It's
like
big.
everything's big, even if it's not.
Everything's big.
Everything's big.
I love it.
And I also grew up. Mom and dad had me in church. I did all the things and went to church and said my prayers at night, Our Father who art in heaven, all the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew about God and read the Bible and everything. Somehow, I didn't get the memo that you're supposed to have a personal relationship with Christ. I missed that memo. However, growing up, because my favorite word was big, by the time I was in college that last year, I was like, something is missing, right? So I went to college in Missouri. From Wisconsin, I went to Missouri, graduated from high school there, then went to Ohio University, played volleyball. And at that last year in college, I was like, something's missing in my life because I was really blessed to have, friends and great family and all a part of the things, the volleyball, the cheerleading, and everything else. And so I gave my life to the Lord because I was like, oh, it's Jesus. That's what's missing. I can do all the, read the Bible, do all the church things and stuff like that, but you have to have a personal relationship with Christ. And so this is where it gets, once I was saved, I got into the Bible more. And I remember Joshua 1:8. My grandmother told me to read it one night. And after reading Joshua 1:8-9, that says, don't let the word depart from you, but meditate on it day and night and do all the things in it, and you'll have a successful life. I got excited because I heard the Lord say, how about you find creative ways to put the word back into the world, right? And this is years ago, like a couple years after college. So let's skip a bunch of stuff. I got meaning I got married. My husband's from Arkansas. My family had moved when I was in college to North Carolina. And so my husband went to law school in Arkansas. So when he was coming out of law school, I had secretly always had a passion for coffee, right? And my major was broadcast journalism. And I know, right? My major was talking. Okay, then I did everything.
Me too.
Everything in my career, even though I didn't do.
That's hysterical.
That's what I tell people. I'm like, I majored in talking. What'd you do with your career? Talking and coffee.
That's
talking and coffee.
wonderful.
Anyway, so when I got out he just asked me where I wanted to live, but because of that secret passion of coffee, I said I want to live in Washington State. And right after we got married, after he got out of law school, we moved to Washington. We were really blessed. Got a job he got a job as Assistant Attorney General for the state of Washington.
Oh, wow. Cool.
One of them, And so, you're all in love and you're feeling like,
Oh,
wee,
yeah. It's like, we're on top of the
you're
world.
blinded by love. We're doing life,
Yes,
right?
right.
Okay. And so, and all my family's back over here, on this side of the map. And I was in downtown Olympia, Washington. And I was just, kind of had the joy of the Lord, and I was just going around because, when you're just having, for me, I'm just like Pamela living life, right? And so I noticed at the light that people were crossing the street, and they looked like they either, I felt spiritually like they didn't know God, or they didn't want to know God, or they didn't even know that there is a God or anything like that, right? I felt this in downtown Olympia. And then I heard the Holy Spirit say, hey, Pamela, how about you put the word in downtown Olympia? And so I was like, okay, then that whole first part with Joshua 1:8, find a creative way to do that. The Lord started building up in me a bigger desire for coffee besides just going to get it several times a day. And I kept going, I really wish I had my own thing, that kind of thing. So then cut to, because there's a lot. Okay, when you could say, hey, Pamela, what's your favorite color? And I would be like, well, when I was 9, I got punched in the nose and, this didn't really happen, but, my nose was bleeding and I saw red and I was like, oh, red, it's not going to be, it's red. I'm a top line girl, okay, not a bottom. I tell people, not bottom, I'm a top line girl. Anyway, so my father-in-law, who was a pastor out in Arkansas, my late father-in-law, he told me, why don't you go read Ephesians 3:20? In one of my Bible studies we were talking about. At this point in time, we had lost our son. My daughter's a twin, and he didn't make it toward that last part, and so I kind of was grieving. And around this time, maybe like my daughter was 1, and she had been a preemie in the hospital, and she's her story alone is really divine. But I was excited about being a mom, but then I was grieving the loss of a son.
Right, absolutely.
So he said, go read Ephesians 3:20. So I'm reading Ephesians 3:20 that says that God does exceedingly beyond anything that you can think or imagine according to his power in you. And I went, wow, now that's big. And I went,
Big.
oh my gosh, that actually means the word big. If you think about that scripture, that's what big actually means, right? So then
This is big.
This is big, just like this story, okay?
Right. You're
Be
funny.
careful what you asked me.
No, keep going. You're
And by
doing
the way,
great.
this is just one of 1 million testimonies, if anybody's asking. I'm just
You're funny.
anyway. So then we had decided that we wanted to move to Nashville. My husband wanted to break out into working in private firm, and before we moved, I had started developing an even stronger desire regarding coffee. We got out to Nashville, and I shared with my friend. I was like, Kimby, I'm gonna throw out to Kimby Shaw, who's like the mother of the Carmelita apple that's now with Big Bean Coffee Roasters, by the way, which you're not even, I'm gonna bring you that. It's another story when you eat that. But anyway, I said, Kimby, I said, big, have you ever thought about the word big backwards as God is big? She goes, oh my God, we were like, we were so excited, right, at this point in time. And she tells her husband, Scott, you know what big means, right? And he goes, yeah, I thought, didn't she say, or isn't it like believe in God? Scott, so her husband Scott says believe in God. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is big. This is what big means. This is like, so then we're going to cut out a whole bunch more stuff and go straight to, I am, it's like, I don't know, maybe 2 a.m, and the Lord wakes me up and says, draw this logo. And he put a stronger desire. I got up and I drew the logo, and then he's just been working on me the color, only have this in red because red means the blood of Jesus. And then have scripture, he just did all of this stuff, right? And then he used my daughter to tell me that, hey, isn't coffee like coffee plant? You could have like the tree of life, like a tree in your logo. Every single thing about this coffee has been divinely ordered. And at that point in time, I thought, I'm going to, then I had started working with the Nashville Chamber a little bit. And I thought every day and all through the years, I would be working in either hospitality or media, but I would wake up feeling really convicted because I wasn't doing what the Lord asked me to do. Like he was prompting me, hey, find that creative way to put the word back into downtown, Olympia. We moved over to Nashville in 2009.
Like, well, I'm not there anymore,
right.
Lord. Yeah.
And so that was still in me.
Yeah.
But then I did radio, and then I was trying to be dedicated to the jobs I was doing, but my heart wasn't all the way in it. So there's a lot of guilt there. There's a lot of conviction there. And so I just decided I'm gonna, I can't do things like mildly. I got to be dramatic and decide to go to coffee school. And I went to coffee business school. And while I was there, I realized how much of a palate that I have for coffee. Now, because I'm extremely geeky, people would be like, don't get her started on coffee, okay? High altitude and all that stuff, right?
That's
So
great.
when I got to coffee school, I was like so excited because I'm like, oh, these are my people. They're as geeky as I am about coffee. And this is in Pacific Northwest. So I'm in Nashville deciding I'm going to go back to Pacific Northwest because I want the credibility of, the coffee, right? Because I'm thinking I really want to be different over here and go, oh, look at me with my, So I went to coffee business school, and people would ask me, even at Good Pasture, like, what are you doing? Oh, yeah, I started a coffee shop. I keep it close to my chest. And they would kind of think, okay, there she is with that coffee shop. Like, what are you doing kind of thing? And it would, behind the scenes, I would be building it up. And so I just worked on, the whole brand and everything, and got that going. And when that you set out to do something for the Lord, here comes the enemy trying to put up a bunch of obstacles.
Of course.
And there's just like, okay, now we're dealing with this. And I'm watching everybody around me start their coffee shops, and, and here's another one, and here's another one. People thought I was starting a coffee shop. It's a franchise that I was starting, right? And So I kept that close to my chest. So um, is 30 minutes up?
No,
I'm just
you're
kidding. I'm
fine.
teasing.
We had something
You gotta
go.
tell me.
Something. No, I've got my ILU's messaging me that I need to fix something. So you just keep talking.
You got to put the timer on this girl, okay?
Oh, you just keep going. You just keep going.
So I felt I after coffee school, I tried to get my locations up, and I put a lot of my own money into what I was doing. And through the years, I spent so much time in coffee shops developing this plan, the business plan, the whole the bean, the blend, I was learning more to roast and what that means and every aspect of it, so I could do things from A to Z.
Right.
And and I just kept doing that. And finally, where are we? Oh yeah, my husband said there's an opportunity for me to take a position back in Washington State in his old position, but a better one.
Oh, there's that call.
The thing is, I'm kind of more this side of the map, kind of,
Yeah.
because my family's over here,
Right.
and I kind of started falling out of love with the whole Washington State thing. But at the time, that calling was bigger in me, and I went, okay, yeah, let's do it. So
Mhm.
here my daughter is in 7th grade, and we jump on board, no one really knowing, that there's a bigger desire because there's a seed planted. My husband knew, but
Right.
he didn't even know the magnitude of why I was really trying to go over there. So
Right.
now this is 2018, and we go over there, and we're in Olympia, is where we bought a house and we were living. And I'm thinking, oh wow, this is my opportunity. This is what I'm going to do. This is what, by now I've developed the bag. I've got
Mhm.
the logo. I've got the whole, we're keeping communities grounded, because there's a lot of components to Big Bean Coffee Roasters that a lot of people don't realize. And through the years, I've been trying to get in front of investors at this point, because my funding was running out, and
Mhm.
I'm just trying to do things the way that the Lord's asking me to do them. And even that's hard for people to understand, because they're like, just go do this, this, and this. Well, this is a step by step thing. So I went over to Olympia, and at this point in time, I knew how to roast. And I had I had this older, grouchy man. What's that word? Curmudgeon. What's the word for
Curmudgeon.
curmudgeon?
Curmudgeon, I
It's like
think.
curmudgeon. Yeah, right. And
Yeah.
I just kind of, from a divine standpoint, I was kind of exhausted looking for a place where I would be able to um, get a roaster and
Right.
start roasting, especially in Washington State. There's so much red tape that goes on, and at this point in time, I had started. My funds weren't as great, and so I had one day almost wanted to stop, because with this process, sometimes when I want to stop and want to walk away, why is this so hard?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this shouldn't be this hard, Lord. You don't want your righteous to suffer. So what is the deal? Why is this not taking off? I mean, it would have like little at a time things going on, but
Right.
it wouldn't like launch. And so that would make me want to like start over and go back into media, go back into hospitality, because I wanted to be a blessing to my family, financially, and I want to leave a legacy.
Right.
But the most important thing to me is I want the word of God to be in people's hearts. Because at this point in time, the Lord said, put that word into the world. So I had attached it to my coffee, and the concept is the script is attached to my coffee. The Bible scripture is
Mhm.
attached to my coffee. So I walked up to this building that had a phone number on it, and I just thought, okay, I'm just going to call this. I'm really
Why
exhausted.
not? Right.
Why not?
Yeah.
I call it, and this guy says, hey, this is I just saw that you had a for lease sign on the building,
Mm-hmm.
and just was asking about that. And he's like, well, what do you want to know? I said, well, what are you asking for the lease? It was a huge, beautiful, vacant building, and I
Yeah.
thought, if I could just get in the corner with my little roaster,
Yeah.
so I could roast and put my coffee in the bag. I was
Yeah.
thinking like that. He goes, well, how much you want to pay? He was just asking me questions. He goes, well, let's talk about it, right? I go, okay. I'm thinking, here we go again. I'm
Yeah.
back at, because right when I was getting ready. And before that, I had several things that I had tried to do as well. There was an older couple that had a coffee roaster shop. They said, come on in here. You only have to have this amount of money to come in here and put your coffee on the shelves. Well, I didn't have this amount of money, right?
Right,
So
right.
I just needed somebody to believe in this concept.
Right.
And there's a lot of components to it that I have not been able to share with the public because of proprietaryship and legal. I'm married to
Yeah.
the attorney who's like, you
It's
can't
like
do,
you can't do it.
and that alone is.
I bet that was a.
Let me thank you. Okay, love you, honey. If you hear it, but I'm just saying, you let's follow the rules.
That's
A
funny.
B C
Yeah.
D. And I'm
Yeah,
at
yeah.
1 2 3, and I'm like A B Z L G F T.
Yeah, he's like, that's not the way you do
I'm
it.
like 123. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, and he's
hysterical.
like, and he loves the Lord, but he's also an attorney. So he's got to. So and that's great. He brings you what you need. And so I met with him. Rich is his name, and he's walking up, and he's kind of grouchy, and I talk with him about what I want to do, and I'm all built up in my whole big speech
Yeah.
about this is, and I have this.
This is
that
big.
what sets me apart is I have this, my mouth. So I'm going to be doing word of mouth, and everyone's going to, he's sitting there like kind of grinning.
Yeah.
And then I said, are you a Christian? And he was like, why do you need to know if I'm a Christian or not? Like that. I said, I really am. I just want to be equally yoked, because he was
Yeah.
excited about what I was doing. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just knew that I wanted to be equally yoked with someone who I was going to do this with.
Right.
And he goes, well, no, but that shouldn't matter. He's like, yeah, I like what you're doing, da da da. He goes, and then another time I asked him, how's that faith? Or he would have like misfortune a lot around him, and things that were happening to him, like somebody would rip him off, and someone would, he would share with me. Now, our relationship is hilarious, okay? Because I don't walk around going, I'm a chocolate girl, but I know people are like trying to be politically correct. They look like they're so uncomfortable. But the thing is that here I am, like a younger chocolate girl. He's an older white guy. And this is where I'm mentioning color, everyone, just because I need to paint the picture. Because
You want people to
You
visualize.
can't do anything in this climate, okay? I'm the one saying that I want people to be in my shoes
Yeah.
and see where I'm coming from, because I don't walk around as my race. I walk around
Right.
as Pamela. It's
Yeah.
like, okay.
I got
So
you.
you get it? And
They need that. They need
Listen,
that imagery to really
listen.
get this story.
Everybody wants to put you in a category, okay?
Right,
I've already been kicked out of every club. I don't belong in any island but Jesus.
Amen.
We could go there,
Right.
So anyway, he was like, you Christians are so pushy. This is the second time you asked me about that. That shouldn't mean. I go, I'm just asking because you actually believe in what I'm doing, and you are so kind to support me. So what is the big deal? Why not be? He's like, why does it matter to you? Because I want to know where you're going, because I'd like to see you there. I know where you're going if you're not. I was trying to find savvy, creative ways. And when he had, right. And when he was having all the misfortune, I would say, he goes, why? Well, if your God's so great, why is this all happening to me? And I'd be like, well, you know what? Listen, sometimes we don't have all the answers, but all things work together for good for those who love the Lord, who are called according to his purpose. And I know that you're helping me with this right now. I would actually use that scripture sometimes. So, because the Lord said, listen, plant that seed into someone's heart, and then he will do the work. That's what the Lord told me. So I just really enjoy meeting all kinds of different people, and wherever they are, God meets them where they are, and be able to work that word in there. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I got coffee in 4 stores and a Christian outlet store before the pandemic hit. So this is when he was helping me during this time. I was roasting and bagging and doing all this stuff, and I couldn't keep up with the production because I just had a small roaster. It's just me. But at least I got it out there. And then I would fly around and try to talk to an investor to get someone on board, and that wasn't working out. And so he fell ill, and he says, if your God's so great, then how come I'm sick? And I'm like, you remember that scripture that makes you mad? Because we'd have this crowd. And by the way, here's a key thing. When I had to go down to downtown Olympia and roast, it was a challenge almost every day. My daughter would pray for me, because I'm like, this is not easy because of the climate at this point in time.
Oh, yeah.
It was a hard place
You're
to
telling me
live.
where you are. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, and keep in mind
enemy
the
territory.
pandemic. When we moved over there, the pandemic had started, and then that started. And you couldn't go up to a building without them kind of acting like, don't come in here. It was very bound, and I want to respect people, but I also was raised to live more free, and as long as you're just being respectful, and I don't want to sit there in my living room and social distance in my home,
Right.
which was, we won't go there. Anyway, my point is I'd have to go downtown and I'd have this dark feeling, which I later found out he had there was a lot of, this one bookstore was behind where I was roasting, and they had like this satanic witchcraft stuff going on.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that,
Yeah.
but because,
You could feel it.
but I
Yeah.
could, I had a discerning spirit, but
Mhm.
God just kept going. You have to say, I wanted to walk away from that, but he's like, I need you to keep roasting with him, roast with him. Well, then he told me, I said, I just want to see, are you saved? Did you get, because when he fell ill, and when I said all things work together for good for those who love the Lord, he goes, I guess I wouldn't have my family around me right now had I not gotten cancer. So he started seeing that. He started seeing that, and he goes, he got saved.
Wow. Outstanding.
And so at that point in time, after all of that, which by the way, we don't have time for a 2-hour show.
Yeah, I was going to say, because we're just about out of time, Pamela.
You see what I'm saying? I haven't even started. Okay,
Yeah.
listen.
You're hysterical. You need to come back.
Hey,
We'll have you
listen,
back for
I'm
sure.
telling you right now, he was saved, and leave the 99, save the one. Okay, and I was done with Washington State because I couldn't live over there. But we're doing this big vision night in October. That whole thing I didn't get to share, which is a big deal. I was going to walk away again, and Terrian, I found out, was going to help me sing. She's nominated for a Dove Award, and also Natural State is a Christian band that's coming out to sing. That's October 7 at 6:30, and we're still looking for a donation to be able to cover that event. So that's my ask, is really anyone who wants to be a great part of an event and be able to have a spotlight and talk about your business and or just share what you need to share. You can go on BigBeanCoffeeRoasters.com. You could reach out to me if you want to be a sponsor or even donations. Buy a ticket. The tickets are online. Come on out there. We're just going to share what the vision of Big Bean is. There's a lot more to it than what I was able to get into. We just really want to plant seeds into people's hearts and grow communities grounded. Get it?
I love it.
and help communities stay grounded. And if there's someone out there who has a heart for the Lord and who is in a financial situation where they want a financial blessing, where they are blessed financially, that's what I was trying to say, and they want to reach out to me and talk about investment and hear the stuff I can't tell the public. We have the biggest return on your investment, which is planting seeds of the Lord to grow them and get them saved.
Right.
That's the first thing. But then it's coffee. I'm not reinventing the wheel.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody and their mother drinks coffee. Do I need to even go there? So that's just a teeny snippet.
Okay. Well, what I want you to do now is I want you to recap again what the event is.
Okay, the event.
What's the day?
October 7th at 6:30.
And where is it?
It's at Homestead Manor in Thompson Station.
Okay.
And it is Big Vision Night.
Okay.
And Terrian.
What can we expect if we come?
You can expect some amazing singing by Terrian and Natural State.
Terrian.
Okay. Yes, she sings Big God. That's another part that I didn't get to explain.
Okay.
That was one of my favorite songs, and then she's singing Big God, which was my favorite. I was going up and down the highway listening to that.
Okay, so that's on the radio, Big God, and she's
Big
going to be
God,
there to
Terrian.
sing it.
She's singing that and more, and Natural State, which is phenomenal. They're also singing, and also we're going to unveil some new things regarding Big Bean Coffee Roasters, and share some testimonies of where we've been and where we're going. And also, we have a great film director and producer, Benjamin West. He graduated from Belmont. He's put something together that's supposed to be a blessing to Big Bean Coffee Roasters. He's going to put a little something together to explain what we're about. And Jorge is my other film guy. And so you can expect a little entertainment and a lot of blessing, a lot of laughter. Hopefully not as much talking from me.
Well, and
I won't do that to you.
So they go to BigBeanCoffeeRoasters.com and they can find tickets.
You can find it and just give me a call.
And if you want to sponsor the event,
I would love that. We're like in the 11th hour. I really need to
give the date,
some
the
donations,
time, and again how to find it real quickly again. So give us the date and the time one more time.
The date is October the 7th at 6:30 at Homestead Manor. You know where Hope Unlimited Church does Sunday services? They're out there at Thompson Station. And on the website, when you pull up the flyer, it has all of that information on there. So when you go to bigbeancoffeeroasters.com, the flyer pops up.
Okay.
And it'll tell you all the location, the time. It has a donation button, a sponsor, and a ticket button on there.
Okay.
And if you have any other questions, you can always call me.
And if I have a
know?
slot before then, I'll try to get you back in. I don't know that I do, but I'll see if I do. But we certainly want to have you back, and you can tell your whole story. I'll give you an hour next time.
Listen, an hour's not enough. Okay, listen.
You're so funny.
I'm shy. Oh, whoops!
No, really?
I actually, I accidentally told an untruth, and I'm pushing Jesus over here.
Yeah, you're so funny. But now I'll tell you, just a programming note. While I was, a little distracted, the feed that I do on my Facebook page went down, but the entirety of the show is on WSGI, which I've also shared, so you can see it. The show was interrupted on my feed, but the WSGI feed is complete, so you've got the complete show. You've got the complete interview there. So that's one of the reasons why we share it in both places, because sometimes technical things happen. Yeah. So, and you got to have a couple little Jesuses to go with you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Handing out the little
and
Jesuses.
ask me next time.
Have you been seeing the little Jesuses?
I love the little Jesuses.
Yeah, they're
this
so
is
fun.
so
Everybody needs
amazing.
a little Jesus. And what were you going to say?
Yes.
You said remind you.
I have
next
no
time.
idea. Listen,
You're
like I said, I'm not shy people.
You're
Okay,
cracking me up.
Listen,
You're so funny.
I'm sorry, listeners. I'm so sorry. I hope you didn't go to sleep on that.
No. It was fascinating.
I hope you're greatly blessed. Okay, in
Absolutely.
Jesus' name, and I pray great things for you. And I appreciate
you, Pamela.
you.
Thank you so
You're a
much. I'm sorry I
blessing.
got to cut it off, but we've got
Thank
another
you.
guest out there,
God bless
and
you.
we'll have you back.
Okay.
And
Amen.
thank you, Jill, for making this connection. I've made a new
awesome.
friend.
Yay, Jill and Meredith and Charlene. Love you guys.
All of the people.
Okay,
Thank
all of
you.
you.
God
Thank
bless
you.
you, Pamela.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you,
Good to
and
meet
I
you
will
too.
see you again soon. Thank you
Okay.
for the coffee.
Oh, yay. I hope you enjoy it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm going to do a break as she is stepping out, and we have got some folks coming in from the Autumn in the Brier. I said fall in the Brier. It's Autumn in the Brier. But Carolyn Howerton is coming in here, and she's the president of the Greenbrier Historical Society Museum. And we will, and they said David Mitchell may come popping in here from Ridgetop Ramblers. So we're going to let them come sliding on in. But what's up? Did you forget something? Come back in, Pamela. You're fine if you forgot something. We're all friends here. Did you forget something? Okay, well, look around. There you go. Absolutely. You're just fine. We'll see you later. And as she's making her way out and the next guests are coming on in, I want to remind you about my friends Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. And this is, I'll tell you, guests, come on in. Come on, make yourself comfortable while I'm doing my break. So just come on in and sit down. But we're going to talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. Anything that you need to know in real estate, they are a great source for you. They are just great friends. They live up in Cross Plains. They've been there for 30, just right at 30 years, maybe just under 30 years, but they specialize in Robertson County properties, but also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. And I say that because they've lived in they have worked all over. Rebecca was a radiologist, actually, before she got into real estate. She was one of those that wanted to just try real estate. And she was like, I want to see if I like this, and just fell in love with it many years ago and went full time. She's one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist. And of course, her husband being a marketer, he was a media marketing vice president for 17 years up in Nashville. She brought him in to help her with that side of real estate, and he fell in love with it too and went full time about 5 years ago, I want to say. But he has a brokerage office in the downtown square here in Springfield. Her office is an agency office in White House, and they combined those two offices earlier this year to bring you a new branch in the Exit Tree, Exit Prime Realty. They've been associated with the Garden Gate team for many years. But again, they started their own new branch, Exit Prime Realty. Anything you need, buying or selling, or if you're somebody that wants to be mentored to become somebody in real estate, they are absolutely the ones you need to talk to. Rebecca's number is 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. You can go to sellwithbecky.com or buy BUYRobertsonCounty.com, but please always let them know. And it is time. I love the Greenbrier community. It is so wonderful. It is just a blessing. And I said fall in the briar. It's autumn in the briar.
Autumn and Brier.
Yeah, I'll do better next time. But I'm so excited that we had a slot. We normally we work because Lee Marie's like, if you got a place, we've been just booked. I mean, this show's been just booked solid here for the last couple of weeks. But we had United Way said, hey, we can't be there tomorrow. I'm like, good, because I need to talk about Autumn and the Brier. I've been mentioning it this week because I've been seeing the sign as I drive up to school. I see it on the little marquee out there. And it is a wonderful event. And it is this weekend. So you got to get there. Carolyn Howerton, you're the new president of the Historical Society and Museum. And she said something about David's going to come in. Is he coming?
He's sitting in the truck. He wouldn't come in with me.
Oh, that little stinker, David Mitchell. Top Rambler fame. And anyway, so that's okay. But I love David. I've known him a long time. But anyway, so are they going to play?
They are. I've got them scheduled from 11 to 12, and then they will be back on again from, I think it's 1 to 2. Kings Highway will be playing in between those two. So they're both playing 2 different slots.
Okay.
So we've got String and Beans starting about 10. They may start a little bit early and go to 11. Then Ridgetop Ramblers come on. They'll play for an hour. Then Kings Highway is going to come on and play through lunch. They may break for about 30 minutes so they can all eat and get something to drink.
Sure.
And then they'll come back on and finish out our day with swapping up.
Okay. Well,
but
go ahead.
On Friday evening, the guys are all getting together to sit on the porch while we've got our vendors setting up. So they're going to do a porch picking at 5 o'clock on Friday.
Oh,
so
that's
anybody
tonight?
that wants to,
No, that's tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
That's Thursday. My week has just been zippy
So
crazy.
at 5 p.m., there's going to be a porch picking, and the vendors are going to be setting up.
Fun.
So we also have some guys coming out of Nashville that's going to be doing kettle corn and slushies. They should be open for us tomorrow night.
Okay.
We're going to be doing hamburgers and hot dogs tomorrow while the guys are playing. Just a little bit more to make up some more funds for us.
Awesome.
So we're in the process now of taking bids for the restoration for our building.
Okay.
We've gotten our roof done.
And this is the museum building.
This is the museum building.
Okay.
That's where the book sale is inside.
Okay.
But we have a long way to go on the restoration.
Okay.
So we're really stepping out and trying to get the community involved. The Historical Society is sole owners of the library and museum.
Okay.
We don't have any, we're not supported by the city, the county, the state, anything. We are solely owned and operated by the Historical Society. So our book sale events and Autumn and the Brier are our fundraisers.
Okay.
And that's how we operate from day to day. The money that we bring in, also we have, we give back to students in the school where we do a scholarship fund. This past year we had 2, and those girls got $1,500 each for their scholarship.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we
I'm assuming that's Greenbrier kids.
Well, it's not only Greenbrier, it's whoever wants to submit for the scholarship. So if their academic scores are approved through the committee, then it may not just stay with Greenbrier. It's just anybody that is going to school that needs the scholarship.
Okay.
We put it in front of the committee and vote on it, and then it goes from there.
Awesome.
So
very cool. You mentioned the building. What's the history of your building?
So, to my understanding, it was built in like 1930, maybe 1928, somewhere in that era. It's had a few owners through the years. In 1997, it went up on a foreclosure auction. That was when Historical Society was formed. Before that, and they went in, they purchased the building. I think I was told it took 5 years to pay the building off.
Oh, wow.
And then from that, they put items in that has been donated through the years. We have an exhibit from Nelson's Distillery.
Oh, yeah.
We've got various pieces of furniture from different ones in the community that goes back to the beginning. I personally, my great grandmother was the very first telephone operator for the city of Greenbrier. So there is a glass case with telling about the telephone operator, her picture. So it touches home for me.
Sure.
Um, so that's why I got involved.
Okay.
Born and raised in the same community, and so here years later, my great grandmother would probably be. I'm not sure if she would be proud of me or saying that I should have gotten involved long ago.
It's
but
like, what took you so long?
but we're pretty proud of the items that sits in our museum. Like I said, they date way back to the when Greenbrier became a city.
When was that? I'm sorry, I'm hitting you with hard questions here, but I'm just kind of curious as to when. Um,
Early 1900s.
yeah, I kind of figured, but I'm not sure. I mean, because you figure as you look at the dates of the cities that are in the same general area, that makes sense. So early 1920s, so or early 1900s makes
Don't
sense.
quote me on it, but I do believe Robertson County was the late 1800s when the city
Yeah.
was actually formed. Maybe mid 1800s.
Yeah.
Then it sort of branched out. Of course, my personal history goes back to the beginning of Robertson County.
Uh-huh.
Great 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 grandfather was one that come in with Thomas Kilgore and settled in Cross Plains.
Okay.
A.B. Young then was on that helped form the city council for Robertson County. So my ancestors date back
Yeah.
to the very beginning, right here,
Right.
on both my father's side and my mother's side. So
Oh, wow.
it's like I said, it
You've been here a
touches home.
minute.
And don't tell how old I am.
No,
but
I didn't mean to do that, but you've been here a while.
yes, family has been here since the beginning. So
Right. So very cool. I mean, this is a wonderful event. How long has the Autumn in the Briar been happening?
this is the 27th year.
Really? Wow.
27th.
Okay.
I got involved about 5 years ago. And then from that, of course, I started helping with the food and doing the food service. So this year, because we have a barbecue cook-off in town,
Mhm.
we have changed our menu. So the food that will be served on Saturday, starting about 11 o'clock, is going to be catfish dinners.
Okay.
So it's going to be catfish, white beans, hush puppies, coleslaw, cornbread that you can purchase for $15.
Mm-hmm.
Our drinks are going to be $1 a piece. Then we're also, for those that don't like catfish, we're going to do barbecued leg quarters with baked beans and potato salad. You can get fries,
Yeah.
as a side. We're also going to be doing hamburgers and hot dogs on Saturday. For those that don't like catfish or chicken. So we're trying to accommodate a little bit of everybody. We do have one of our members that is famous for his cobblers that he makes. So there's going to be fresh cobblers made on the grounds,
Oh, wow. Okay.
kind of the old-fashioned way in Dutch ovens.
Okay.
Those usually go as fast as he can make them. So you got to get in line for the cobblers. But
So is he selling whole cobblers or by the just
we do
serving?
them. We do them in serving containers.
Okay.
This year, I did speak to him. I'm not sure if we're going to have them available, so we'll have to wait and see. But they'll be in 6-inch containers that you can purchase and take home.
Okay.
And if we can get those done ahead of time, because it
Mhm.
takes a minute to make them.
Yes, it does.
But our committee is ready to go, and so we're, grass cut yesterday, booze marked off. This year, providing everything goes well and the weather's great, we have approximately 34 booze all total.
Okay.
Some of them are maybe double booze or triple booze, but we have 34 booth spaces that has been paid for. And as I messaged everybody last night with their booth number, the response that I got was, can't wait to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the music starts at 10 and goes till 3. We have 2 reenactments that's going to be going on all day. That is the Sons of Confederate and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, but it's Ashlyn Belgirth. And they are doing like a medieval times reenactment with the swords and the shields
The
and
jousting and all that. Yeah.
that sort of thing. So we're glad to bring them on this year. We've got a wonderful exhibit coming up from the Sons of the Confederate with a buggy like stagecoach that was used years ago. It's going to be.
So we're gonna have some horses there.
I don't know if they're going to bring the horses. They are going to bring the buggy.
Okay.
Horses can be,
Yeah.
a little timid from time to time.
True.
But we have a bake sale that's going on.
Okay.
We have the silent auction that's going on all day. Excuse me. And of course, the book sale is still inside the library.
Okay. And is it obvious from the street where everything's going on? Can you see it, or where do you turn? And exactly how do you get to everything?
Okay, so straight on 41, where there's a red light there at McDonald's, and you're going to turn the opposite direction from McDonald's on West College Street. As you turn on West College Street, you should be able to see everything starting to go on as of tomorrow when tents start going up.
Right.
We're directly across from the old City Hall, which is now the Water Department. So, yeah, it's going to be a complete yard full of events going on, and we hope that everybody comes out and enjoys.
I think you'll see everybody walking around, and because there'll be people parking kind of in all kind of different places, but easy to find. But I did want to mention that you do turn off of the main drag.
You do turn off the main road.
Again, that's a good description. Just right there, you just turn opposite of McDonald's and go right through there. I knew where you were going, but for everybody else, want to make sure they know. Because so is the music going to be on the porch always? Is that what we're doing?
We are putting the music this year. Last year we had a trailer, and they were out from the building. But this year they're on the side porch.
Okay.
Make sure you bring a chair.
Yes,
we're
bring a
not
chair.
furnishing chairs.
Yeah.
But they're going to be facing where the reenactments are.
Oh, fun.
So they've got the whole side yard for people to sit and listen. And that is, if you're facing our building, it's going to be to the left-hand side from the sidewalk on around. Bring a chair, sit in the shade, and just listen to music and eat all day long.
There you go. And I tell you, it's going to be beautiful. The weather is just looking fabulous. I had a friend last night. Our church is doing a women's retreat, and she was talking about it. Well, it's Mary Rainey. Paul Rainey's on here. She goes, the weather's going to be precious. I've never heard anybody call weather precious, but yes, the weather this weekend is going to be precious, Mary. I just thought that was a great description, because it is. And I mean, we've been hot but it is going to be, the weather's going to be precious this weekend. And I just loved that description. It's going to be a good weekend.
I've had my fingers crossed for weeks. And
Yes. So it'll be great. It'll be great. Well, it's going to be fun. And again, Greenbrier near and dear to my heart, because that's where I've hung my teaching hat forever. I love Greenbrier. I really do. And it's a community that I didn't really know until I started teaching there. You know, I've gone through there for my whole career, because I've always worked in Nashville. And so I know that stretch of road very well. But it's a chance for you to pause and say, what's really going on in this community? And you're going to love it, because it's just really a cool community.
Well, not only in just for us, but we have on Saturday at the Parks Board has put on a barbecue, a judging contest. So from my understanding, they've got well over 50 teams that has come in for barbecue judging.
This is on Saturday as well?
This is on Saturday
That's
as well.
huge.
So they they thought that ours was the following weekend. So they tried not to put it on the same date, and then it fell on the same date anyway. So I
don't know that that's a bad thing, because I think that's just going to bring more people in. I think that's wonderful.
I do. So I have been working back and forth with the Parks Board. They're going to allow us to come and put a table up, give out flyers, pointing people in the other direction. Also on the same day, the Greenbrier Middle School, don't quote me, but I think it's the cheerleaders, have a little thing going on at the middle school. So we've kind of been working with both sides to make sure the community is out there and helping these fundraisers. And as far as the Parks Board, these guys have worked diligently, and they have teams, from my understanding, coming in from Kansas City for this barbecue
Oh, yeah.
contest. So that's pretty big for our Parks Board, and that's going to be at Louise Martin Park, also in Greenbrier, on the opposite end of town. So come and spend all day with us, enjoy our town. If you can't find what you're wanting with us at the Historical Society, or you can't find enough barbecue on the opposite end of town, you can always stop at Golly G's and get some ice cream.
There you go. There you go, and you got the pub too. with
The pub with pizza.
The pizza pub. That is just my favorite pizza. Hands down. Let's just say it. That's the best pizza ever.
It's pretty
It
good.
is so good. I love that pizza. It's my hands down favorite. But you're talking about all the things going on at Greenbrier High School. They've got the FCCLA yard sale.
Correct.
So there's just, honestly, Greenbrier is going to be the hot spot.
I thought that was at the middle school.
No, I thought they were having that. Maybe. I
don't-
thought I
I'm
need to
sup-
clarify that then, because I thought it was at the high school, but maybe that is all at the middle school.
Okay.
Because honestly, that'd be a better location, because if our parking lot's off the beaten path, and that was one thing they took the what is the pig thing, the turning of the pig was in our parking lot, and that was a
Yes.
concern. I thought about that. I thought that's a little off the road, so I was hoping people knew where to go. So so the middle school parking lot's a little better. It's much better position.
Much better.
For something like that. So it may be, I'll find out, because I've got that it's on here. This is my newscast that we use at
Right,
school. And
right.
when you mentioned that, I was like, well, their fundraiser yard sale is on Saturday as well. So
know
maybe that's.
I'm supposed to meet with them later to give them flyers for Autumn and the
Okay.
Brier, and they're supposed to give me flyers for them, so
Okay.
we can,
Yeah.
kinda
Well, and
go
I'll
between.
clarify that, but
Okay.
because we've got to record all this today
Yeah.
for tomorrow. But nonetheless, it's going to be a busy weekend in Greenbrier, and we just hope you'll be a part of it, because it is a wonderful community, and just love to invite you to come out and be a part of it. For sure.
Absolutely.
Let me go ahead and do my last ad, and we'll come back and we'll kind of wrap things up. But we've got so much going on. It is going to be a precious weekend. I just love that. I'm going to use that a lot, Mary Rainey. But it's going to be beautiful for weather. So just a great weekend to be involved in your community. But we want to remind you, too, that some other stuff, after you get finished up, you've got the Veterans Motorplex firing up with racing this weekend as well. And that's the Old Highland Rim Speedway. It's Veterans Motorplex at the Rim. The gates will open at 4:15 on Saturday, and it looks like they're going to have great weather for it. Got big racing. They've got actually a double header that's starting this weekend and then going next weekend. So they've got the Legends and the Bandoleros that's going to be, they're going to be running this Saturday, and they're going to be running next Saturday. So it is going to be a great time. I encourage you constantly, though, if you're going to go to the races, make sure and follow Veterans Motorplex at the Rim at the Highland Rim Speedway Facebook page, because just like last weekend, we had that rain move through, and so they had to cancel the race. They had a big Shriners Day planned last week. I imagine they're going to try to reschedule that before the season is over. But guys, the season ends at the end of October. So if you've been saying, oh, I got to get to the races, I got to get to the races. Yeah, you got to get to the races before the season's over. There's always a possibility they might go over into November, for a weekend or so, depending on the weather and depending on, races that they might need to make up. But the only guarantee is racing through the end of October. So you need to get there. A $40 ticket will get up to 8 people in. Up to 6 kids and 2 adults for a $40 ticket price. That's the family pack. And Jerry does that because he wants you to bring the kids and come out and see how much fun they have on that quarter-mile high-banked asphalt bull ring of a track. It is a blast. They've done a lot of renovation out there. You're going to be really proud of it, but it is still one of the best-kept secrets, really, in Greenbrier. It is at 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. It's a historic Highland Rim Speedway, now known as Veterans Motorplex at the Rim. You're going to have a good time. We want you to get out there before the season's over, racing through the end of October. You want to be a part of it, so get out there as soon as you can. Get out there this weekend after you hang out in Greenbrier all day, and be sure and let them know you turn. That. I don't know if I can on everything, but I'll try to edit that out. But the Autumn in the Brier, just give them the schedule again and what to expect and where to go. So just kind of that
Right.
spiel real quick.
So we are starting off on Friday after 9 a.m. The vendors will be setting up following with the porch picking starting at 5 p.m. You can come out and enjoy a Friday night of music. Saturday morning we'll kick off at 9 a.m. Food will start at 10. Music will start at 10. Vendors will open at 9 a.m. for everybody to get their morning started. The book sale opens at 9. The silent auction opens at 9. The bake sale opens at 9. So everything will get kicked off on Saturday at 9, and we will be done at 3 p.m. in order for you to go to the Motorplex.
Mm-hmm.
So
there you go. In time to get out to the races.
But come out and enjoy the day. Give your support. I do like to add that our Heir to Art, which is Shane, is making a banner for us that is solely for our restoration of the building. And that's going to show like a little hourglass and how much money that we've actually got to make up to restore our building. And so the community can know exactly where the money's going this year, how much we need to make up. So we're kind of excited in order to get our building back to the way it used to look. So
Very
guys,
cool.
come out and give us your support. And it's going for a great cause.
What do you say the book sale? Explain that to me. What is
Okay.
that? Because
So-
you've mentioned that a couple of times, and I'm not really sure I'm following you
All
on
right.
that.
So inside of our library, we have the library and the museum. Right now, our museum exhibits are covered, and we have people who have donated thousands of books.
Oh, okay.
And so those books go anywhere from 25 cents up to $5.
Okay.
And you can purchase them. You bring books in and donate them, and you take books back out. So
Okay. Well, and I kind of knew that because I had heard that about you guys because that's been going on for a while.
it's been going on
Yeah.
for a very
And
long
it's
time.
a great
Yes.
idea. I mean, because we all have a ton of books. I took in after my mother passed away this year, we cleaned out the house, and I have all my father's books. And I mean, I'll probably keep most of them, but some of them, yeah, I'm like, okay, I don't really need that because my dad just he just loved books because he loved to learn, and that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And I've got some old stuff too.
Bring
man.
up-
I've got some really cool
Bring
stuff.
them in, donate them, and then we turn around. One thing I will like to add, and I'm not sure exactly what date we're going to be getting started, but we have a lady that's going to be coming in once a week for about 30 minutes to an hour, and it's going to be like a youth program that she will sit down and read to homeschool children
Cool.
under 5 years old. We've not really set age limits to it yet. We've not got into all of the details, but watch our Facebook page and you'll be able to know when that's going to get started. Here about a month or so ago, we teamed up with the TWRA. So you can also taking out our library books. You can come in and get a fishing pole and lures and enjoy the lakes and the ponds that's close by. When you sign those out, you keep them for 4 weeks and you bring them back and turn them back in.
Just like checking out a
So,
book.
just like checking out a
Yeah.
book, you can check out a fishing pole and some lures and go
Isn't that
fishing. with.
cool? I love that.
So that is one thing we have teamed up with the TWRA in order to get that educational program out for the fishing and the outdoors.
Yeah, Jason was actually
So-
in here, and he our wildlife resource officer. He was in here on Monday and mentioned
Okay.
that.
Great.
And so that's wonderful. But that's going to be a great event. This is all Autumn in the Brier happening this weekend. So, and I love that you are doing the picking on the porch tomorrow night. I think that'll be fun.
Well, I think
And
that's
David,
just a
you
way
should
to
have
get
come
the
in and said
community
hi.
out.
He's
Yeah.
out he's
Yeah.
sitting in the truck. He was
Yeah.
your transportation today. But David Mitchell with Ridgetop Ramblers, love that they're going to play. And just it's going to be you're going to have great music all day. It's going to be a good time.
I think so.
Very
So
good.
Come out and enjoy.
Thank you so much. So just can't say enough about getting out to know our Greenbrier community, you guys. And thank you very much to Miss Carolyn Howerton, our new president of the Historical Society and Museum there in Greenbrier. So that about does it for us, you guys. Thank you so much. And I've got to get to school. I've got to head to Greenbrier to go teach school. And thank you to Lee Marie, who's going to be filling in for me tomorrow. I hope you'll have a wonderful